Hi, this is Mrs. Ziegler, and I'm going to go over your relative motion notes. So this is the objectives that you are responsible to know for this particular unit, for this part of the unit. So objectives. So you need to know what relative motion is, what frame of reference is, the basics of Einstein's theory of special relativity, quantities, what a scalar, vectors, what rates are and speeds, how to measure and determine the values to calculate speed, know the difference between instantaneous and average speed, know how objects can accelerate, and how to calculate acceleration in one dimension. So, first thing is that the theory of special relativity is from Einstein, which states that uh, that the laws of physics are basically the same for all non-accelerating observers. So basic key takeaway is that there is no difference between something that is at rest or moving at constant velocity. Acceleration is the only real motion, which as we go through this unit, you will understand what that means. Okay. All right. So what is motion? Motion is any change in position of an object. And so we will look at the different ways that motion can occur. What is needed to describe motion? Well, we need a frame of reference, which is essentially the different reference points in which motion can be compared to. So relative motion is the movement or change in position in relation to our reference points, which again is our frame of reference. That is what's needed in order to describe motion. So here in the example, we're talking about people in a car and people on the side of the road and how you can view motion in those two different reference frame of references. Okay. So in class, I gave you this paper where you were reading this reading and then answering these questions. So in class, I gave you about 5 minutes to do that and to answer. So if you did that, great. If not, these are just for your notes, and you can get the information from reading. So displacement. So we're talking about displacement and distance, and we read through this. So the difference between distance and displacement. So by definition, we already know that distance is the length of the path between 2 points. It's essentially how far apart 2 points of references are. So we know that the unit of length is meter, that's the SI unit, but we have other units for distance, but the SI unit is meter. Displacement is the direction and the length of a straight line between points. Okay, it's always the shortest path between a starting and ending point. Essentially, if you think of it in terms of how far and what direction am I from the starting point. So, best definitions, just to summarize, distance is the total change in position of an object, where displacement is the change in position and direction of an object from its starting point. Okay, but knowing the definition and understanding it are two different things, which is why we're going to practice. So, answering these questions that are on your note sheet. So, looking at this image, we see that it's asking you which part, the 20-meter bracket, the 30-meter bracket, or the 50-meter bracket represents displacement. And how do I know? Well, if we're talking about how far the object or the motion of the object is from the starting point, what direction? Well, in terms of which bracket that represents the displacement, here's the starting point, and here is the ending point. So therefore, we know that the 20-meter bracket is the bracket that represents the displacement because it's from its position from the starting point. Which part represents the distance, and how do I know? Well, the distance we know is the length of his path, which would be the arrow that shows the motion of the object. All right, two vocab words, vector. Vector and scalar were from last unit. So vector, again, is something that has magnitude and direction. Magnitude is an amount or a number. It's how much. whereas direction is essentially which direction that particular vector is facing. Scalar is only something that has magnitude, an amount or a number. Direction does not matter. So when we're looking at our problem, so first one says that if you walk 7 meters forward, which again, this arrow actually represents our vector because the 7 meters forward, this is the direction. It's pointing in the direction forward. And then the size of the arrow represents the number of the value. So we've got 7 meters forward and we move 4 meters forward. So here's my starting point. I move 7 meters forward. Then I move another 4 meters forward. So the distance is the total amount traveled. So I just add that up and I get 11 meters. Whereas my displacement is, again, how far I am from the starting point. Well, I only went forward, so therefore I just add those up and it's 11 meters forward. Again, direction. If I move 7 meters forward and then 4 meters backwards, again, my distance is the total amount that I move. So again, it's 11 meters. Whereas my displacement is how far am I from the starting point and what direction? Well, here's my starting point. So therefore, if I move forward 7 and then I move backwards 4, the difference would be whatever that was. So I would subtract. And since I'm forward of my starting point, that is my direction. The other way that you can calculate this or know what direction, it's the one that has the bigger value or bigger magnitude will give you your direction as well. So these were notes that we completed together in class. Again, we're just practicing some more. So I've got Bob walks 81 meters east. Then he walks 103 meters east as well. So distance, same thing. I added up. Displacement, I still have the same thing, but with direction. Bob walks 81 meters east and then 103 meters west. Again, my distance is the same because, again, it's the total amount. Because I'm going in two different directions, and you should see here that if this is my starting point here, that this is the distance that I have from here to the end point, and the direction, which would be backwards, it'd be 22 meters west. All right, we're going to do this last one. This one you will do on your own. And then if you would like, you can have me check it. Otherwise, this is really just for your notes. So I've got Bob travels 81 meters east, but then 103 meters south. So what is the distance? Well, again, same number. So therefore 184 meters south. 184 meters total is the distance. Now, how do I figure out my displacement? Well, displacement is the shortest distance from the starting point to the ending point. So therefore, when I look at this picture, I should see that it is a right angle. So therefore, I'm trying to find this part of the right angle. So therefore, I would use the Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So mathematically, remember, you're going to take each one and square them. So if I got a and b, I square them. 81 squared plus 103 squared is equal to c squared. Once I square them and then I add them together, I get c squared. But I really want c, so I have to take the square root of this in order to get my displacement. I rounded and have my unit. And then because I'm in two different directions, I have both my directions. Again, my displacement has to have my direction as well. So we know that distance, again, is the measurement of a length in one direction, how far apart. We know the common units that can be used for distance, not just the SI unit. Okay, and then the common tool. We know that scientists, when we are dealing with scientists in labs, that we're only going to deal with the SI unit, which is meter. Time, we already know what that is. It's how long an event takes. We can use these common units, but again, the SI unit is seconds. Speed is what we will use those two measurements to calculate. So speed describes how fast an object moves. Mathematically, it is distance divided by time, which if we use any unit of distance per any unit of time, such as these common units, we have speed. Speed is the same thing as velocity, except the only difference is, because it's measured in the same way, is how fast it is and which direction. Therefore, velocity is a vector because it is calculated exactly the same way and has the same units as speed. Constant speed versus constant velocity. What's the difference? Well, speed and velocity, again, are the same. The only thing that's different is that direction does not matter for speed. So if I have constant speed but changing velocity, okay, I'm sorry, if I have constant speed, I have constant velocity. If I have constant speed, meaning I'm going in a circle, okay, I have changing velocity because, again, what's happening here? Well, I'm changing direction. So I have changing velocity. It's not even if I have constant speed. If I have changing speed, that means I have changing velocity. These things all have to do with acceleration. Acceleration is how quickly something changes its velocity. These are the units of acceleration: meters per second squared, meters per second, or meters second negative squared. Acceleration has to do with direction, which is a vector, which requires it to be a vector because it's a change in velocity. What are 3 ways an object can accelerate? Again, by changing its velocity, speeding up, slowing down, and turning, changing direction. How do I know? What do I have? So if I have speed and velocity or acceleration, if I have speed, that means I only have distance and time. If I have velocity, that means I have speed, which is distance and time, and direction. If I have acceleration, that means I have to change in velocity, meaning it's either a change in speed or direction. These are the things that you are responsible to know. If you have any questions, please make sure you reach out.